There is no good scientific basis for arguing that greenhouse gases are not a hazard to human health. My name is Kenneth Davis. I'm a professor of atmospheric and climate science at the Pennsylvania State University. So the EPA's endangerment finding is a decision from the EPA that greenhouse gases are a hazard to human health and therefore should be considered an air pollutant. And the endangerment finding was initiated because of a court case, Massachusetts versus the EPA in 2007, which went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decided that, in fact, greenhouse gases can be regulated as an air pollutant. And so the EPA was carrying out the wishes of the Supreme Court in interpreting the Clean Air Act. Greenhouse gases harm human health, but indirectly by changing the climate. So they absolutely, without a doubt, harm human health and are a hazard to the environment. But it's not because they are toxic to us to breathe. It's because they make the world hotter, they make the world floods worse, they increase wildfire intensity, they increase hurricane intensity, they're causing sea level to rise. A plethora of bad environmental problems come from greenhouse gas emissions and the increasing amounts in the atmosphere. But if the EPA were not to regulate it, that means that U.S. would not have the authority, the U.S. government would not have the authority to reduce emissions. The arguments that I have heard motivating the EPA to revoke the endangerment clause include arguments like, we don't emit enough greenhouse gases for us to be significant, or this costs money and it reduces people's choices, so we won't do this. Those aren't valid scientific arguments against that argue that we should not regulate greenhouse gas emissions. They don't show that greenhouse gas emissions don't harm human health. These gases stay in the atmosphere to hundreds to thousands of years. So we're not damaging the climate now. We are damaging the climate now, but we are damaging the climate for our children and their children. And think of 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Think of the Roman Empire. That's 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years into the future, people will be looking back at the decisions we made and asking, why would they have thought to do this? In the bad old times, we had pretty bad air quality and water quality issues in the United States. And the Clean Air Act and the EPA came to be, and regulations were created. And a lot of the same kind of arguments were put forward. Oh, this is going to harm the economy, this is going to be too expensive, this isn't really going to help, it's going to hurt. Our air and water quality have improved tremendously as a result of these. It has probably saved us 10, 20-fold economically the cost that has been imposed to reduce emissions of things like smog and particulates and water pollution. So it's the same old argument again, that, oh, it's going to hurt us, it's going to cost too much. But time and again, the environmental benefits from doing things like reducing pollutants has proven again and again and again to be a good thing for society.